All right, so picking up on question 5, we need to determine whether these two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So remember, parallel lines, okay, uh, the first slope will be the same as the second slope. Perpendicular lines, remember, the slope of one line is going to be the mathematical opposite the slope of another line, right? And if either of these is not the case, then it's neither. All right, so if I'm looking at number 5, I see that these both have a slope of 4. Therefore, number 5 is going to be parallel. Okay, and if I'm looking at number 6, I got a negative 1/3. I got a positive 3. Another thing about perpendicular slopes, if you multiply them together, if you multiply a negative 1/3 times 3, right? Anytime you multiply two slopes together and they give you a product of -1, then they're perpendicular, right? So you can see that these are the opposite reciprocals of one another, but these are also giving you a product of -1 when you multiply them together. Therefore, this these lines are perpendicular. Okay, so 7, we're gonna get into a little bit of a word problem, right? Don't cringe, it's all right. So it says a water tank initially has 500 gallons of water and drains at 20 gallons per minute. Write an equation of the line representing this situation and interpret the slope. All right. So remember, y equals mx plus b. Okay. So the y and the x are going to constantly change, right? These are going to change as we've seen for the first 2 weeks. Okay. The m and the b are constants. This is the change that's happening. Okay. And here is the constant. Okay. When I'm saying it's the change, it's like this is the one that's going up or down or whatever is going on. Okay. This is the constant or the start or the initial. Okay. So if we look at this, it says a water tank initially, right? This is the y-intercept. It's starting off at 500 gallons and it's draining at 20 gallons per minute, right? So we've already interpreted the slope that this water tank is draining at 20 gallons per minute, right? So to write the equation, there's a couple of ways to write this. Most of the time, you're going to see this written as y equals 500 minus 2x. I'm sorry, minus 20x, right? Or they might do, different letters. This x be m and this be whatever, w for water, m for minutes, right? But essentially, it's the same thing. Or we can write this as y equals negative 20x plus 500, right? These are both saying the exact same thing, okay? 6, half dozen, doesn't matter, right? But at any rate, this is saying like, okay, well, how much water is going to be in the tank in 1 minute? Well, if x equals minutes and y equals gallons of water, okay, in 1 minute, we would say 500 minus 20 times 1, 500 minus 20, 480. So in 1 minute, we should have, after 1 minute has elapsed, we should still have 480 gallons of water in the tank, right? And so on and so forth. So we're just doing some of these real life story problems that in which you can see how y-intercept and I'm sorry, the slope formula comes into play. All right, question 8 says a gym charges a $25 membership fee plus $10 per class attended. Write an equation of the line that models the total cost based on the number of classes, right? So you can say y equals cost. You can say x equals number of classes. Okay, again, my constant is I'm paying this $25 membership fee. So what if I go to no classes? Well, I'm still paying $25. Right? So the equation is just going to say y equals $10 per class plus my $25 membership fee. All right. So positive slope, negative slope, and depending upon how the story problem represents itself, you should be able to, to see those keywords plus drains, right? Drains means it's getting smaller, plus added, right? The price of a share of stock increases by $2 per day, starting at $30, right? Equation, right? So Y can be total cost or total price of the stock, right? X can be um, the dollar per day increase. And so our equation would be Y equals increasing 2X plus 30. Or Y can equal 30 plus 2X. Okay, so lastly, looking at number 10, given the equation Y equals 5X plus 8, determine the slope of any line that is parallel and any line that is perpendicular to this line. All right, well, we just said back up there at question 5 and 6 that if slopes are parallel, or if lines are parallel, then the slopes are the same. So for a parallel line to the line Y equals 5X plus 8, my slope is going to be 5. Okay, for a perpendicular line, it's going to be the mathematical opposite. So the reciprocal of 5 would be 1/5, and the opposite of a positive would just be negative, right? So my slope for a perpendicular line is going to be negative 1/5. All right. So again, like always, hopefully these videos are helping you, especially as you walk through. So one of the things you want to make sure you are doing is that you are writing out the equation so you can see what is going on, and definitely turning in your work so that if I can see where you made a mistake, I will at least give you partial credit wherever I can see where the mistake was made. Okay. If you still have any questions, though, reach out to me. Talk to you later.